Welcome to class. Now for today, we are going to be treating the topic concept of what? Catering. So we need to know why we are studying catering, how it originated, and what is even catering. Somebody should call you and like you are studying CCP, catering and craft practices. So what can you tell me about what? About catering. And that will bring us to what? What is catering? The word catering, where does it originate from? Catering is the branch of hospitality industry that specializes in the production and services of foods and drinks. When we say is the branch of hospitality industry, what we are trying to say firstly is that catering is under hospitality industry. Now that will bring us to what do we mean by hospitality industry. Hospitality industry are those industry that involved with catering for people, providing accommodation, providing food, providing beverages and drinks to their customer. That's what hospitality industry. For example, we have the hotel, we have the hostels, we have the hospital. They provide food for their patients. So they are what example of what hospitality industry. So catering is a branch under it, because catering is there, you provide food and you provide what? Drinks. And that will bring us to what? Definitions of catering. We have more than one definitions of what? Catering. And the first one is catering is derived from the word cater, which means to provide and sometimes to serve food. That's catering. Catering is derived from the word cater, which means to provide and to what? Serve food. That's the number one definition. We can also define catering as what? A profession involved with services of food and drinks to guests. We can also define it as the profession involved with services of food and drinks to what? To guests also. Catering is an area, another definition, of study that specializes on food and beverages production and what? Services. Another person can also define it this way: the specialization is on food and beverages, not just serving it this time around, also in the production. You can also say catering involves the production of food and drinks to customers, so that the customers are served to satisfaction, and yet ensuring that the establishment maximizes profits by using a good costing and control system. Wow, this is a great definition. This definition has all the definition inside it. First of all, we know it's involved in the production, also the serving. Now the customer that are consuming it, they are involved. Their satisfaction is involved, balanced food is involved, and you that is bringing the services, you also make profits in return. That's also a nice definition of what? Catering. And that will bring us to origin of catering. And in talking about the origin of catering, we are going to be looking at where it started from, many countries that practiced it earlier, and we'll look at it down to our country, what? Nigeria. So origin of catering could be traced to 1200 BC, during the era of the great Roman Empire. And once you hear the word BC, meaning before Christ, so before Jesus Christ came to the world, catering has started long ago. Wow, that's enlightening. That started long ago, before Jesus Christ came. And who started it first? It was the Romans, the great Roman Empire. You know, then they love feast, anything. The king will call for a feast, there will be food and drinks. And if you check it, people are consuming it. Its service is being made. The slaves, the servants, they are giving out food and drinks to all the noblemen. And that is catering from our definition. So that was where it started. And also, it started as what? Inns, and were built as strategic points on highway for the benefit of traveling troops and what? Civilian. So it started in the Great Roman Empire. After then, they extended it to as building as inns and what along the road, the highway, for those that are traveling and civilians, so that they can what consume food. Also, it's in France. Catering centered around feasts and celebration for kings and noblemen. In France, that was catering. When there's feasts, that's where their main focus was on. They centered it on kings and noblemen as at that what time. So that time it was for kings when it was to call for feasts, and catering services will be what rendered. Catering industry in United States of America has its root from the era of the Second World War. So catering started in America, in USA, after the war, from the era of the Second World War. The people grew wealthier and caterers found more business for their services. After the Second World War, there was increase in income, and caterers, they indulged in it fully because people will eat. That's the idea of catering. People will love to be catered for. Food must be provided. Drinks is an essential need. Food. Cafeterias and coffee shops came in the 17th century in London. Now this is London. How did it start? Started in the 17th century. And how did it start? As cafeteria and coffee shop. That was how they started. Yes, money tea, money coffee, and cafeteria. That was how they started it. Before Americans introduced large catering industry establishments, so America they now blew it as an establishment, building hotels, catering houses, employing chefs, and practicing the art of cooking instead of the castle and the palace as at then. Now they now made it to everybody. It's not just the castle and the palace. They are now get catering services. Everybody can be offered catering services by building hotel and catering establishment and catering houses, which American did. In Nigeria, that will bring us to our country, Nigeria. In Nigeria, it originated from the missionaries. It was the missionaries that started it in Nigeria, and through trade transaction with developed country. That was where the idea came in, and it started as inns. One is in, then more than one shop is called inns. Before they now went to rest room for travelers to rest and sleep. They will eat now. They will be hungry and will love to eat. Before it graduated to guest house, and later it blew and became an hotel. That was how it started. It started at a small building just for food. From there, where somebody can lie down. From lying down, guest house. From guest house, hotel. So that was how it started in Nigeria. Transportation provided by Nigerian Railways also contributed to travelers. And when people travel away from their home, they are left to the mercy of hospitality industry and catering services, because catering is under. So when people travel, they want to eat. They are no longer in their comfort zone. They are no longer at home. They can't cook on the way, but when they can get food, they can buy food. So that was how the concept in Nigeria started. Even with the operation of the civil aviation in Nigeria, catering grew to more sophistication, and with technology advancement, you see some catering shops, some hotel. It is now advanced in the country. It is now more advanced in the country in Nigeria. So that was how it started. It all began from before Christ. People have been eating. People have been provided for. People have been catered for. That's catering, to cater, to provide, before it goes to Nigeria, because we do trade with outside country. When you travel, this is what they are doing. I saw one building. You can buy food. A man gets that knowledge and comes to Nigeria, and that was how it started. And here we are with big industry. We have Mama Ebo pepper rice, big breeding, and that's just it. Catering services. they provide food. We have different kind of hotel. You have different kind of what guest house. We have hosting in the school. Even in the hospital now, they have catering service there also. And that will bring us to what? The importance of what? Catering. The importance of catering. Why catering? Why should we indulge or provide service? Why should we? What's the importance? Firstly, it helps in skill acquisition. Yeah. It helps you to develop skill, learn different kind of meal. It's like handwork. Yeah, that's skill acquisition. It's handwork for you. So if you are learning it as a course, as you are doing now, and you're also following the practical aspects, you already have an handwork, because you have so many hotels that are looking for caterer to employ. Yeah, and they pay you well. So it helps in skill acquisition. That's number one. Number two, for the provision of trade to help sustain the individual. Yeah, if you know how to bake, for example, you are good in baking, you can sustain yourself and provide for your family. That's why the government has asked us to be teaching catering and craft in the school. Because if you know how to bake, if you know how to do small shops and all those things, you can provide for your family. You can start doing. It's not a trade, it's not business for you, and income will be generated. And by so doing, you are earning a living and you are providing for yourself. You are catering for your younger ones and your family also. So that's why it's important to study catering. Also, development of knowledge and understanding of all food commodities in terms of quality, cost, usage, and services. Development of knowledge in understanding of all food commodities. I know somebody will be asking me, food commodities. Yes, the item are beans, are rice, are garri, are meat. They are food commodities. So it helps you in the knowledge and the development of the quality of it. We were hearing different kind of catering terms, the usage, how to use it, and the services that is being rendered. So that's another importance of catering. To understand diets and being able to produce dishes in their locality as well as outside their locality. Wow, this is powerful. So you mean if I'm studying catering now in school as I am doing, I will be able to provide varieties of meal, not just my local one that I know my mom taught me, but also international meals. And also you know how to understand diets, 3-course meal, the kind of meal to serve for breakfast, the kind of meal to serve for lunch, the kind of meal to serve for dinner. It gives you the understanding of all these things and how to cook diverse meals, both locally and internationally. So at home you will not be eating one type of monopoly of food, one food, egusi, eba, banga, that's all, rice, stew, fried rice, jollof rice, varieties. You just decide the one you want to cook at home. If you are making a living out of it, wow, because many people are looking for where they can eat both international and local meal when they want to eat it. Also, it provides the understanding of various ways of cooking variety of dishes. Understanding various ways of cooking variety of dishes. You know, we said it makes you to know local and international meal. This one, not just knowing it, but being able to cook it, being able to prepare the dish is also an aspect of catering. Understanding a variety of various ways of cooking dishes, acquisition of necessary skills in baking and confectioning products, how to bake, how to break chocolate, biscuits, cookies, enhance national development and revenue generation. As you are studying catering, the revenue is being generated and you yourself, you are being developed. So hope we've learned a lot and hope we are going to enjoy the CCP class as we keep on rolling in, learning every day and studying and practicing. Have a nice day. Bye. See you in our next class.